We had the dogs out in the middle of the night looking for survivors in the rubble, but it was just so dangerous. I did Art Deco renovations in South Beach years ago. That's how I started. Those are old buildings. Those are from the 20s. This is from the 80s. There's no reason for this building to go down like that unless someone literally pulls out the supports from underneath, or they get washed out, or there's a sinkhole or something like that, because it just went down. There was roof work being done, but there's roof work being done on buildings all the time. And it's hard to imagine that that could have been the impetus for such a catastrophic collapse. And I'm sure that it probably wasn't.
Was the roof work being done at the time?
The roof work, yeah. Well, listen, I know that I jog by that building every day, and I know they had a crane out there. They were lifting stuff up. So as far as I know, they were still in the process of doing the work on the roof.
When would have been the last major inspection on this building?
Well, listen, we do inspections all the time. Our building inspector, whenever we do work on a building, especially, for the roof job, I'm sure there was an application, there was an inspection, there was an understanding about how it was going to be staged and how the work was going to be done. So, as you know, we do 40-year inspections here in Florida. So I'm not quite sure if there was a 40-year inspection on this building, but the bottom line is that's not an old building. And 40-year inspection or not, that kind of thing should not be happening.
And how heavy was the equipment that was being put on top of the roof?
That's a good question, and we need to get the answer to that. I'm sorry. We talked to the building manager about that, and they don't log owners when they come in and out, but they log guests. So we do have a log of guests, but we don't have a log of owners, and the building manager has intimated to me that the building was substantially full.
Minimally, how many people are unaccounted for?
It's unclear right now because those people don't necessarily report in. They're just owners, and we're just going to have to go through the process over the next couple days to try to piece that together. I think we're talking a lot of units. I think we're talking, a third of a building. I understand that building was over 100 units, so it could be at least 30 units. The Champlain Towers South. Yeah, I think that this morning I was told by the chief that we treated 10 people on the site. 2 were transported to the hospital. 2 of those 10 were transported. 1 has passed away. 1 of the 2 has passed away, and the rest are now up at our community center getting ready to be relocated into a hotel.
But Mr. Mayor, the bottom line is that dozens of units may at this moment still have people unaccounted.
That is correct.
Mr. Mayor, I'm with IP2 News. There's speculation that Pat McAfee's files were located inside that building. Is that true?
No idea. I don't have that specific information, but I do know that the heroic first responders have cleared the building. So that means they've gone into the units that exist now and have made sure that there's nobody else in the building that needs to be taken out.
But to be clear, is there still an active search for potential survivors?
Well, yeah. I think that we had the dogs out in the middle of the night last night, and it was very difficult in the dark to try to get the dogs up on the pile of rubble. But they're reigniting that effort right now, and I'm sure that's ongoing at full strength.
So the search of the non-damaged units is done.
I think so.
But the search of the collapsed area goes
Is
on.
beginning.
Will go on for quite some time.
Absolutely. I think we need to bring some heavy equipment in, and it's that part of it is heartbreaking.
Mayor, your thoughts to that very thing on it's hard to put into words what we're seeing here this morning.
It's less likely than a lightning strike. It's less likely than a lightning strike. It just doesn't happen. You don't see buildings falling down in America. And here we had a building literally fall down. It just doesn't happen. Well, I think we have 15 family units that walked out on their own. And like I said earlier, we had 10 that were treated early this morning, and we had 2 that were taken to the hospital, medically treated on the scene. Correct. Yep. Yeah. I believe they found, my information last time I was over there, they had found one person in the building. They were looking, and they had brought that person out. I don't know what condition that person was in. No, nothing like this has happened. Listen, I've lived here my whole life, and I've never seen anything like this happen anywhere in Florida.
But every indication it is a tragic accident caused unknown. This is early tragic.
Well, listen, I think we need to find out what the answer is. I don't know if I could characterize it at all right now, except that we have a building that's fallen down. I think they should be contacting the town of Surfside if they knew that their loved ones were here in the building, so that we can start to piece this thing together, because we're going to have to know that they're safely out of the building, or if they were in the building, we need to account for them. I think it's called the Blue Green Hotel, which is right next door.
Mr. Mayor, total focus now, of course, is on the ongoing active search, but it will beg the larger question about the safety of surrounding buildings here and elsewhere.
That's
How will that effort commence
well,
both in Surfside and likely all across this region?
well, we're going to obviously keep everybody a safe distance away from the building, number one. That's why we're not letting those people go back into the hotel that's to the north, because it's too close. The building to the south is far enough away so that the experts believe it's not in danger should the rest of the building collapse. So we're going to take this one step at a time. Miami-Dade County is leading us, through this. They've got their engineers, they've got their fire people, they've got their first responders, and we're all just following their lead. Who? Well, I think we now need to secure the area. I think that the initial surge is going to, feather out, but, the people that need to be here are going to be here. I imagine there's going to be heavy equipment that's going to be coming in, and we're going to have a search and rescue now in the back.
How do you marshal the
Sorry? I expect that this building is not salvageable at this point.
How do you marshal the inspection effort that many other residents up and down the beach may now understandably demand, saying, if this could happen here, how do I know how safe my
I think that's an excellent question, and I think we'll have to address that.
What do you say to residents who very understandably now up and down this beach are saying, if that can happen here when it doesn't happen in America?
Well, I think it's
how should
incumbent.
that be about the inspection?
Correct. I think the first step is it's incumbent upon us to try to determine what caused this, and that will sort of lead us to the next step where we can sort of deal with that other question. What kind of work was that? Well, it's probably the roofing work because that's the most recent work that's been done, and that's obviously a big job on a building like this.
How long has the roofing work been going on?
You know, it's been going on a while. I think that probably at least 30 days.
That has anything to do with the collapse?
We're certainly going to look at that. It's, anything else?
Thank you. When will the next possible news update be?
Well, I'm going to go over right now and try to update myself and see what's going on, and then
And if you might also get fire officials to come with you so that you and they at the next news conference, that would be
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.